Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Listen Up Girl podcast. Before I get started in today's episode, I wanted to ask you to please go to the description of this podcast and click on the audience survey link. This helps me understand who my audience is, and it gets thoughts on what you think is working with this podcast and my other podcast, Everything and Anything and a Bit Gay. I'm planning for 2026, and the survey only takes 10 minutes, and it would be a huge help. So thanks so much for doing it. So let's get into the news for Monday, December the 1st, which is World AIDS Day. And this is your LGBTQ news podcast, delivering headlines that matter with clarity, heart, and a little sparkle. I am Zach Randles-Friedman, and today we've got political breakthroughs, global setbacks, pageant history, pop culture drama, and more. So let's get into it. First, Abby Stein joins New York City Mayor-elect Mamdani's transition team. The Guardian has said that Mayor-elect Mamdani has appointed Rabbi Abby Stein, a prominent transgender activist and author, to his transition team, placing her on the health committee. The move has been widely praised as a win for the LGBTQ plus representation in New York City government. Stein, who famously left the Hasidic community and came out as transgender in 2015, has since become a leading voice for LGBTQ plus Jews and people leaving restrictive religious environments. As a rabbi and advocate, she brings firsthand expertise in trans healthcare, mental health, and community support. With more than 400 members across the 17 transition committees, Mamdani says the team is designed to hit the ground running. For many New Yorkers, Stein's appointment signals a city ready to center equity and lived experience in its policymaking. Next, Japan suffers major setback in marriage equality fight. Japan's LGBTQ plus community is reeling after the Tokyo High Court ruled that the country's ban on same-sex marriage is constitutional, making it the only high court among 6 nationwide cases to uphold the ban. Amnesty International called the decision a significant step backwards, noting that same-sex couples remain without basic legal protections. Japan continues to be the only G nation without recognition for same-sex partnerships. While activists prepare to bring the issue to the Supreme Court, they stress that lawmakers could legalize marriage equality immediately if they chose to. Our next story is Miss England crowns first out lesbian winner. CNN reported that Grace Richardson, a 20-year-old musical theater student, has made history as the first openly Miss England. Her win was celebrated across the UK as a major moment of queer visibility in a pageant world that has historically excluded LGBTQ plus contestants. Richardson says she hopes her victory encourages queer young women to pursue their dreams without hiding their identities. With resilience and determination, you really can achieve your dreams, she said. Her win marks a cultural shift for the long-running competition, signaling a more inclusive future. Amazing. Congratulations to her. Next, we go to Congress, where it accuses DOJ of ignoring LGBTQ plus hate crimes. The Advocate reported that more than 100 members of Congress have accused the Department of Justice, led by Pam Bondi, failing to properly investigate and prosecute hate crimes against LGBTQ plus people. The lawmaker's letter cites inconsistent reporting, a lack of federal follow-through, and rising anti-LGBTQ plus violence. They say the DOJ has a responsibility to enforce protections already on the books. Advocates agree, arguing that federal accountability is urgently needed as attacks on LGBTQ plus communities rise. Our next story is Tucker Carlson uses anti-gay slur on air. Far-right commentator Tucker Carlson sparked outrage after using the slur faggot during an interview on his popular podcast. The clip spread quickly with a backlash from LGBTQ plus organizations. Advocates say Carlson's massive platform normalizes hateful language and contributes to real-world harm. Despite widespread backlash, he refused to apologize, framing critics as oversensitive. Many argue streaming platforms must take stronger action against broadcasted hate speech. He has gay people, LGBTQ plus people on his podcast as guests. So I'm surprised. I thought he was above that, but I guess not. And I guess I won't be listening to his podcast anymore. Next, U.S. terminates over $1 billion in HIV grants. A report from uncloseted media reveals that NIH has terminated more than $1 billion in HIV-related research grants, while USAID has cut 71% of global HIV funding. Experts warn these cuts could reverse decades of progress in prevention, treatment access, and global health initiatives, especially in low-income countries where U.S. grants are vital. Advocates say the reductions pose a serious threat to global HIV responsive efforts. Next, Hayley Williams sets boundaries against hate. Frontwoman Hayley Williams is speaking out about the themes behind her new album, Ego Death at the Bachelorette Party, including a track, True Believer, which examines the racist legacy of Southern pride. Williams says, Paramore shows will always welcome everyone except people who bring bigotry with them. I don't want racist, sexist, or people who think that trans people are a burden, she said. Fans have praised her clear stance, calling it a needed voice in a polarized climate. Good for her. And my last story today is I've Had It hosts call out closeted MAGA figures. The host of the hit show I've Had It are turning up the heat with what they call MAGA's closet problem. While they argue that several anti-LGBTQ plus conservatives privately participate in queer spaces by publicly attacking LGBTQ rights. They joke that Grindr nearly broke after Charlie Kirk's funeral because of the number of conservative users online. Their message, stop attacking queer people publicly while benefiting from queer culture privately. It's hypocrisy, and they say the public deserves to know. I love those two ladies, and if you have not seen their podcast, I've Had It, you definitely should. But listen to my podcast first, then listen to theirs. Anyway, that is my show for today, for Monday, December the 1st. Thank you so much for listening. If you haven't subscribed to my podcast, please do. Leave a comment. Also, be sure to follow my other podcast, Everything and Anything and A Bit Gay. I have some fabulous episodes coming out for the month of December and in the month of January. Thanks so much for listening, and talk to you tomorrow with more LGBTQ plus news.